Warning. This podcast contains explicit sexual language and should only be listened to at work if you're looking for an excuse to connect with your HR representative. Additionally, all mentions of the word women include cis and trans women. If you are genderqueer, gender fluid, figuring it out, anything in between, and feel like this conversation is also important for you, you are welcome here.
Will you open up with me? These pages, they can feed your innermost desires. Do you feel inspired? Are you getting what you need? Are you coming curiously? A secret safe with me. And here you can simply be yourself. Sweet romance. Come on in, come on in, come on.
Hi, y'all. This is Jace, she, they, and you've found Jace Reads Romance, a community dedicated to empowering women about sex and sexuality through the reading of romance novels. This is another Jace Word Vomits episode. You go with that?
I like it.
Thank you. As I really immerse myself into the bigger world of readers, there are so many new readers, and there are so many critics of romance in general, and we can go into why there are ridiculously unfair critiques of romance as a genre.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest ones that I hear is, don't you get bored?
Yeah.
Like, don't you get bored knowing they're gonna be happy in the end?
Yeah.
Which I find very funny because every single genre has its rules and its tropes and its things like, oh no, did you read a Cat Who book? Are you mad that they solved the crime?
Right.
Like, did Nero Wolfe save the day? I don't know. Just
like Sue Grafton, like it's a whole alphabet, literally an alphabet of crime novels. Like I'm just like, what?
Yeah. It's so funny to me. And so I was thinking about, well, I mean, my initial instinct is, no, you ridiculous human. But I think one of the reasons why I really do promote the, like, have your feelings in the group chat is because my reaction to things is not kind. Like, I can think about things and I can, like, logic and be a really respectful person.
Right.
And I am, and that is how I choose to interact with the world. But often that first thought in my head is, fuck you! Like, it's not kindness.
It's not
kind. It's not full of grace.
It's a reaction. You're not taking time to add tact to it.
No, I'm not processing what I've heard through logic and respect yet. And so as I was processing, why do I love romance? And especially as a reader of romance for over 20 years, I have to, like, how old am I? I forget how old I am. Every single time I have to think about it. Like, once I hit 30, I was like, awesome. I don't need to think about it anymore. I have hit the age I want to. Well, not in that, like, oh my God, I'm 30. It's tragic. Right. But, like, thank God I'm not in my 20s anymore. Any age doesn't matter. It's like when I was below 30, I had to be like, I know I am 27. But don't treat me like I'm 20. No, I don't want to do 27-year-old things. Like, please don't.
100%.
So once I hit 30 and I could be like, sorry, I'm in the 30s. Like, it didn't matter what age I was.
It didn't matter, exactly.
But I do have to think about it. So as someone who's been reading romance for 20 years, and we've talked about how romance has certainly changed over 20 years and even longer than that, like the 20 years that I've been reading actively, and then, the decades upon decades of romance as it has existed and as it has evolved. What are the things that keep me coming back? And yes, there is the happily ever after. I like knowing that love will prevail and someone's going to get laid and people will be joyful at the end. But that, I think, is also why people read fantasy. Like, oh, the hero's journey, we're going to defeat the thing. There are reasons.
The evil.
The evil.
Yeah.
And then there's fiction where evil prevails and you're like, well, that fucking happened. But
you mean
one
nonfiction?
Of the things...
Oh, wait, sorry. Anyways.
The dystopian hellscape that we currently find ourselves in.
Right.
How many Legos do I want?
Right.
I feel like the number of Legos that I want is like directly proportional to my emotional well-being.
It's so true.
Like, do I need more happy Lego plants?
It's also tattoos. How many tattoos do I need to direct line into how happy I am?
I don't have any. But yes, that is like, everybody copes differently. How much bread have I baked?
Yes.
Is a real indicator in my life right now. But anyway, like, one of the things that I love about romance and why I like to read things that make me happy and I've read before. And there's certainly, I have my comfort reads. I have the things that I read to like, oh, I know exactly, like why you watch your favorite shows.
Yeah.
You didn't hear my knuckles crack. But why I really love reading new to me romance is, I think, is for me that what drew me to romance and what I resonated with when I was let's go with underage. Like, can I say that? Underage, like technically,
I mean,
like not supposed to be reading romance. I was a minor. It's so funny. Like, there are things that we protect minors from, and we should. I think that there are certainly things that they do not need to be exposed to or have introductions to and can't make their own decisions about. But it doesn't mean that they're not feeling sexual things. And I've spoken about how reading romance and reading about sex made me go, oh, it's not just me. I'm not the only person in the world who has these funny feelings in my loins. But as I've grown up, there are lots of different kinds of feelings and lots of different kinds of relationships that I've experienced. And my lack of experience at the beginning, like I resonated with certain things in the romance novels that I was reading when I was 14 or 15. And when I reread them, I resonate with different things now. But as a human, I still learn more about myself as a person, as a potential partner, both romantically and sexually. And it's a way for me to continue to evolve.
Yeah.
Even if I haven't had those experiences yet. Same thing when I was young and inexperienced and was like, I can barely make eye contact with a person I find attractive. I could still think about the sexuality, my sexuality and what I wanted and what I was comfortable with and like what words were I going to use when I, thought in my brain like, well, one day if I touch his hand, what will I say? Like, I am someone who heavily fantasizes. I daydream a lot. And for those of you who don't, that's not everyone. There are people who read words and they don't picture anything in their brain, or they don't fantasize, or their brain doesn't go on tangents. And that is wonderful and different than my experience. But when I was thinking, well, what would I say if I did talk to my crush or our lips did meet? That the words that I would use and the experience and the sensations and what I was looking for was those fill in the blanks were filled with the words of romance novels. And as my relationships evolved romantically and sexually, I was able to kind of fill in the blanks or fill in from behind what I was looking for and what I wanted by reading more and more and reading a wide spectrum of romance.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, and that is truly what I feel keeps me coming back. Even romance novels that I don't like, that I don't resonate with on some big level, there are
Right.
always things that I learn from them, either
Yeah.
as a what I want, which I think is the most impactful thing, because, and I'm going to circle back to that, what I want, which I think is the most impactful thing, and what I don't want. Because when you're thinking about what you don't want in the scope of, well, anything that's out there,
Mm-hmm.
it can take a really long time to weed your way through the things that aren't for you.
Yeah.
And those are
Yes.
important. It's really important to know what they are so that if someone asks you specifically for whatever, what's an example? Give me an example. Like if someone asks you specifically, like, oh, I want to deep throat you until your eyes water. And you're like, that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Well, here's
And
the
you can
most,
say no. Yes.
I think,
But like when you know what you do want,
yeah.
it's so much more impactful.
Yeah. I was just going to say probably the most obvious example is anal.
Yeah.
Like that's the best example. Like so many people, as something that like,
Tell me why you think that's the best example. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm like, all right, I want to know.
As something that a majority of people may not want, but may be asked about, is what I meant as the best example of that.
Or maybe you're not ready, or like you have weird social things around anal, or you don't know how to start. So yes, like, oh, do you want to have anal sex with me? No, I'm not ready for you to stick a dick in my ass.
Right.
But maybe you read a scene and someone adds a finger in the back door, or there's a toy, or there's rimming, and you're like, that doesn't sound terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm open to it. And I think we talk about sex, and sex is certainly what we're talking about, sex and sexuality, but also in terms of communication. And a great example is like, how do you communicate your shared calendar with a partner? There are so many ways to do it. Do you just have a shared digital calendar? Do you check in every night? Do you check in once a week? Do you text about it? Do you check in about shared events? Do you have to not check in about shared events? And what might work for you might not work for a partner. And if you or your partner can't communicate what you need, or you don't think about these things in the same way, you could try lots of different wrong ways first. And that's not bad. I think the trial and error of any relationship, as long as it's, based in mutual respect and kindness, and you can work through whatever problems. But if you can ask for what you need or want clearly, that can give your partner a much better understanding. Even if you say like, I need once a week, and they're like, cool, well, I'll talk to you like Tuesday this week, and in your brain, you're like, I actually meant Sunday. You can get more and more specific, but like learning those things is really important, because trial and error takes time and a lot of emotional effort.
Yes, it does.
It's not a bad thing.
No.
But there are moments in a relationship where you don't have extra time or extra emotional bandwidth. I love romance novels for the breadth of humanity and relationships and sex that it shows me and allows me to experience, because it also helps me put better and better words to the things that I want and need and crave in a relationship.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think that is a perfect way to describe why people would come back to reading romance novels again and again and again. Yeah. Because it's very, any genre is going to be really formulaic. Like you have your you have the thing. Good step by step by step by step by step.
Yes.
And every time, if it's a romance novel, you end up with a happy ever after. Like that's how the formula works, or the happy for now. Like that's how the formula works. So you kind of have an idea of how it's going to end, but to get to that point, you have this whole world and story and plot and characters and things that happen and blossom and grow, and you get to grow with them and join them and just become part of their world. And that's another draw that comes with it. And you get to take a part of that world and that story with you. And whether it's like the sexual aspect or the non-sexual aspect of it, and you can put it into your relationship, into your relationships, however that looks. And I think that's a very beautiful thing that romance novels gives us in the overall world of literature.
And I think it's something that romance can give us that other genres can't. What I mean by that is, you can be on a hero's, very rarely is someone going to be on an epic hero's journey. But for many of us, romance and sex play a part in our lives.
Yeah.
And what we want out of a romantic or a sexual partner in our teens, in our 20s, in our 30s, and so on, evolves. And so the language that we used when we were younger doesn't always apply to what we want now. And so if we want to stay current and we want to stay present and we want to be able to communicate effectively with whatever partner we have, even if it's the same partner,
right?
Our language and our willingness to see that change has to also evolve.
Yes.
We can't expect our romantic wants and needs to be the same at the beginning of a relationship, the middle, the end, if you are dating versus married versus long-term partner. If you are monogamous or polyamorous, your relationships will change depending on what dynamic you're building with however many partners. Are you in a polyamorous relationship where you have two people dating, or are you in a group situation where you're all collectively dating? And that will change depending on what partners are involved. If you're 20, your sex drive is going to be very different than when you're 40, especially if we're talking about men and women and non-binary people and anyone with hormones, because your hormones fucking change all the time. So like not just men and women, but everyone. So saying, I did it, I found the words that work for me, stamp, done, does you a great disservice in whatever relationship you're building, even if it's a relationship with yourself. Hell, if you are asexual, aromantic, but you like masturbating, yes, that is a thing.
Yep.
For physical release, your body will still change between 20 and 60. And what gets you off or gets you going at 20 might be very different than what gets you off or gets you going at 60. And if you still want to be getting off at 60, you have to make sure that you allow for those changes to happen, that you are willing to try and explore new things.
Yeah.
And so, for example, I was reading something not sexual. I know. But it applies to things. I was reading a book. I didn't like the book. So I'm going to preface this. I did not like the overall book. But there was a moment where these two people were getting together. One partner offered to help another partner with something. Partner A offered to help partner B with something. And what partner A offered to help with was absolutely not something they are good at. Like, it was helping them organize. They are not an organized person. They're not. But they knew that partner B needed help in this thing. And they were like, well, no one else can help it. You're in the lurch. Like, I want to help you.
Aww.
And so partner B said, sure. And partner A fucked up because this is not something they're good at. But I also feel like partner B didn't explain everything that they needed. There was a moment where partner B was saying, hey, where did you put X? And partner A was like, well, on the bottom because of the pile, because it's a really heavy box. And partner B was like, oh, but I need those things. How was partner A supposed to know that?
No, yeah.
But there was a moment where partner B went, this isn't what they're good at. And I'm going to stay grateful that they offered to help anyway. And what I saw is understanding what I saw when I read this, understanding your partner's weaknesses and strengths is incredibly important.
Yeah.
Because and that grace that partner B gave partner A was really important because what was their intention? Their intention was to help. And from my outsider perspective, if I'm ever going to be in a situation where I need my partner to help me with something that is not in their wheelhouse, and it happens for me too. Like, I'm asked to do things and I'm like, I don't even know. Like, you just asked me to build Niagara Falls from Legos. I don't get it. Like, it's so beyond my realm of comprehension.
Yeah.
But I want to be there for my partner. And so what that taught me is if I'm asking my partner to help me with something that is out of their wheelhouse, and it might be, helping me move, helping me plan a dinner party, running an errand, whatever it is, then I need to give them as concrete and specific a task and work together on it as possible so that I can have the correct expectations with them. And that if I'm ever asked by my partner to do something out of my wheelhouse, what I learned is I'm going to ask the same of them. I want to know, okay, what exactly is it that you need me to do?
Right.
How can this happen in the way that's best for you?
Right.
And how do we check in along the way? And the example in the book was not sexual, but as I was just saying that, I thought this is also how you introduce like new sex stuff to your partner. Like, what if you have more sexual experience? Like, I love anal sex. I want my partner to try anal sex with me. Okay, we're not going to go head first into it. What are the steps? What are they comfortable with? How can we communicate? What if my partner wants me to tie them up and I've never done that? And, their end result is way beyond my comfort zone, but how do we find a path forward that keeps us both in a good communication space, even when you're out of your element? And there are so many times when life throws you curveballs and you're put in situations that you never expect. You're like, Jesus fucking Christ, that was not on my bingo card of life or the week or the day or this relationship.
Yeah.
And for my brain, I definitely catastrophize and think about like anything that could go wrong. So I have a plan in certain ways for myself. But when you're with a partner, you can't plan for your partner's reaction.
No,
and you can't
unfortunately.
plan for certain things. No. But reading books that contain other perspectives and other ways of thinking helps me stay open to that and stay out of my own way and be more willing to dialogue and
Yes.
respectfully dialogue with a partner.
Well, and that's,
Because I'm in multiple people's head all the time.
yeah. Well, and I think that's one of the things that we have really stressed on this podcast just since the beginning is communication. Like, just with everything we've talked about, like, when we've talked about the sex and sexuality side of the podcast, like, communication is
oh my God,
is a huge part of it.
So
much. And
so much.
That is something that I am definitely seeing more romance authors being really good at adding into their stories. It definitely needs to keep growing and getting better.
Yeah.
Always. There's always room for improvement for everything. But it is definitely better than it used to be 20 years ago.
What communication around sex? Oh my God. Just, yeah.
So that is a really good thing that romance novels bring, is the words to use in your own life and relationships to give you the communication needed to help you and your partner or partners just better understand and dialogue with each other.
Yeah. And it's something that I keep coming back to and I keep getting excited about. Even like as much as I do the smut and the sex and the things and oh my God, what are they doing with vampires this time?
Right.
The thing that excites me and makes me go, what happens next is the plot and the relationship and the things that happen. And the moments when I go, God fucking damn it, why do you have to be so bad at communication? Right. I would never do that. Like, why are you purposefully misleading her? She said X. Didn't you hear X?
Right.
Yeah. So like don't you get bored reading romance? No, I don't.
Nope.
No, I don't. The only thing I know is that they are going to be together. Are they going to be walking? Are they going to be happy? Probably together, but is everyone around them going to be dead? Maybe. I don't know how they're going to get there. There are a lot of options between I met someone and we're happily ever after.
There are so many paths that journey can take. Like so many.
So many. So many options, friends. And so don't you get bored? No, I don't. Because there are moments in books where I'm like, I trust this is going to be a romance. I trust in the happily ever after or the happily for now. Right. But I do not see a light at the end of the tunnel.
Exactly. You're like, I do not see how this is going to be good.
Like sometimes it's because it's a fucking trilogy that follows the same couple. And I'm like, damn you. And sometimes you just, there's a twist and you're like, well, fuck me sideways. Like, wow.
Yeah.
and those are fun. Those are not always my favorite books to read, quite honestly. Like my emotional safety was not kept in mind. But they're really books that I regret reading.
Yeah, exactly. Because you enjoy the journey. You enjoy the story. Yes. So
it's fun. And you're like, I don't see how we're going to make it out of this one. Author, like, show me the way.
Exactly. That's the whole fun part of it. Like, it's the best part. We know they're going to end up together, but show me how they do it. Take me on that ride.
And I'm not counting couples where I'm like, you absolutely should not be together, would not make it in the real world. Like that's different. That's not what I'm saying. But like quite honestly, I think the biggest example of it, and it's one of the best books I've ever read, is Before I Let Go. And I think I was texting him like, I don't know how they get together. It's like 80% of the way through this book, and there's so much emotional baggage, and I can't see a way forward. Yeah. He's dating somebody really happy, and she's got the meds she needs, and they're really just thriving. But like, how do they overcome the emotional baggage and trauma they put on one another? Yeah, I was saying no idea. I was like, put my faith in Kennedy Ryan.
These are the texts I get. These are the texts I get.
Those are some of the texts you get, and then I'm gonna read the text I sent you.
Just the other day.
You follow Sephie on Threads. She posted her text exchange, which is the highlight from a book that I read, and the quote is, "You're just my filthy little cum bucket, aren't you?"
Yes, those are the other types of texts I get.
Well, I do. I send you like ridiculous. Oh, I'm going back. Oh, I send you memes where there's like a woman in like Renaissance clothing swooning, and the caption is, "When they roll up their sleeves and you see their forearms."
Yes. You wish you were getting texts from recently. You wish you were getting texts.
I read a book recently, and it was like something about slutty. Oh, the slutty curl that fell across his forehead, and I was like, when did curls become slutty? So, if someone asks you, "Don't you get bored while reading a romance novel?" the easy answer is no. And just stare them dead in their fucking eyes until they walk away in shame.
Yes.
But the true answer is no, because I'm constantly surprised and excited and thrilled by the breadth of humanity that I get to experience. And that's why we keep reading romance. And that's why I keep reading romance from new authors, from different voices and different cultures. And every single time I get to learn something new about myself and about a potential relationship or a potential experience in a relationship that I haven't had. And I hope that this inspires you not just to reread your favorites, because you should. They're great. I'm planning a reread of some of my favorites for the end of this year and the beginning of 2026. But also to read something out of your comfort zone by a new author, a new genre, a new trope, something that you haven't experienced before that will just expand your knowledge and awareness and your horniness to something unexpected.
Yes.
And bye.
Bye.
Jace Reads Romance is a 3 Paws Productions podcast. Produced by Sephie, edited by Michael Achenbach. Our theme song is written and performed by Diana Weishauer. For show notes and more, head to www.jacereadsromance.com. That's JAYCE Reads Romance. Follow us on socials at Jace Reads Romance everywhere. For more exclusive content, visit us on Substack, where you'll find extended episodes, bonus episodes, and more. Have a question, story, or a book recommendation you know I'll love? Email Jace at jacereadsromance.com or call and leave a voicemail at 661-JACE-RR. That's 661-529-2377. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast. And as always, this is Jace, holding space for you.